Welcome back, it's Nine, and today I have another big video for you guys. We are talking about some rumors of major third-party games to be shown in the August State of Play. We're talking about PS5 fans getting hyped up due to some very strange reason. And lastly, we're talking about 343's response to the community when it comes to Halo Infinite's issues. Now, before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. Now, let's start off with these PS5 third-party rumors. Now, this comes from pushsquare.com titled, "More Rumors of Major Third-Party PS5 Exclusives Return." Windows Central writer Jez Corden has said that according to what he's heard, Sony has major exclusivity deals in place on PS5. Naturally, just about everyone on the web has pushed ahead with these comments, and all of the old rumors have been brought up once more. So, we heard about this from Imran Khan. He said, hey, we know that there are some crazy third-party exclusives that are with the PlayStation 5, and we can't believe that they haven't shown it yet. So this is the second person to say this. So this leads me to believe that, damn, these games must be huge. So we've talked about there being a Silent Hill game. We've talked about there being a Parasite Eve game. We've even talked about there being a Final Fantasy 16 exclusive. And these are all things that could very well be the case, especially when we're talking about the relationships that PlayStation has with Square Enix. So Final Fantasy 16 being a timed exclusive. We saw 7 Remake being timed for 1 year. It's very likely we could see 16 as well be a timed exclusive. And we know that they've been hard at work, or allegedly hard at work, on this game. And obviously, we know Silent Hill is a thing with all the different leaks that have happened. And Parasite Eve has had quite a bit of discussion in the community as well. So it could be either 1 to 2 of these games. It could even be all 3 of them. I think that something big is in store. And when the State of Play happens, I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty pumped. I think that I'd like to say manage your expectations, but I feel like there's so much surrounding this August event that there's no reason not to get excited. There's no reason not to feel like we're going to be blown away by the event. I think in any case, even if they don't show us some major titles, if we get that pre-order date, we get that price, we get that release date, these things will get us pumped even without those games. But I think that these games are going to be shown. And if that happens, boy, this is really going to get the PS5 at a crazy start. And it's really going to make it hard to get. So we better be ready when pre-orders come through that we are on top of this, guys. You got to make sure you pay attention, subscribe to stay notified. Obviously, you know, if you want the best source, you just subscribe to PlayStation on Twitter or onto their notifications to get notified at the same time as I would. Anyway, on to our next topic, and this comes from pushsquare.com titled, "PS5 Fans Hyped After Sony Updates Future of Gaming Playlist." Sony has updated its Future of Gaming playlist on YouTube, which compiled all of the announcements from its recent PlayStation 5 reveal event. This could be the first hint that fresh news is on the way. The rumors rife that the Japanese giant will hold some kind of event in early August to share more information about its next-gen console. So if you go over to PlayStation's channel, which I'm sure a lot of you have, and you look at playlists, you can see that it was recently updated. From this image, it says updated yesterday. And now, here's the thing, guys. Number one, this doesn't necessarily mean anything. This could just be someone cleaning up the channel, making sure that everything's organized. Personally, do I think that this has any major significance to there being an event very soon? Not likely. I really don't think that there is. But being somebody who uploads to YouTube, even if you add things into a playlist and it's not public, it is seen as updated recently. So that's something that would make sense. Now, mind you, again, this could just be a coincidence. This could just be somebody organizing the channel. And that's very likely what it is. So I wouldn't put too much faith in this. I really wouldn't, think that this means that for sure we're going to get an event very soon. However, I do think we are going to get an event in August. But in terms of this, I don't think it has any significance. On to our last topic. We are going to discuss 343 responding to how the graphics and visuals look of Halo Infinite. So this comes straight from HaloWaypoint.com. First, we want to acknowledge that yes, we've heard the feedback coming from parts of the community regarding the visuals in the Halo Infinite campaign demo. While we see and hear far more positive than negative, we do want to share a bit more context. From our perspective, there are two key areas being debated around the community: overall art style and visual fidelity. Based on our learning from Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Wars 2, along with strong community feedback, we decided to shift back towards the legacy aesthetics that defined the original trilogy. With Halo Infinite, we're returning to a more classic art style, which was a key message going back to the very first reveal that garnered enthusiastic and positive responses. This translates to a more vibrant palette, cleaner models, and objects with less noise, though it doesn't mean less detail. While we appreciate this may not be everyone's personal preference, we stand by this decision and are happy to see it resonating with so many fans around the world. The second theme being discussed involves visual fidelity. Negative feedback in this area includes comments around characters and objects appearing flat, simplistic and plastic-like, lighting feeling dull and flat, and object popping. We've read your comments, we've seen the homemade examples of retouched content, and yes, we've heard the Digital Foundry assessments. In many ways, we are in agreement here. We do have work to do to address some of these areas and raise the level of fidelity and overall presentation for the final game. The build used to run the campaign demo was work in progress from several weeks ago, with a variety of graphical elements and game systems still being finished and polished. While some of the feedback was expected and speaks to areas already in progress, other aspects of the feedback have brought new opportunities and considerations to light that the team is taking very seriously and working to assess. We don't have firm answers or outcomes to share yet, but the team is working as quickly as possible on plans to address some of the feedback around detail, clarity, and overall fidelity. The team is committed and focused on making sure we have a beautiful world for players to explore when we launch. Now, this is a long one, right? And I understand that they're trying to say that this is a demo, this is not the finished product. You know, we were going for a specific aesthetic, so it actually fits in line with what we were trying to do. And the community seems to have wanted that, and they were happy about that when we first saw the teaser that happened. Now, I understand that's the kind of the aesthetic they want to go with. People seem to like it. I personally don't, but people seem to like it. So the aesthetic is here to stay, according to them. The other thing that they talked about was the fidelity, right? Having the pop-ins, having all these different things. And their excuse for this is that it's from several weeks ago. I find this interesting because people tried to say that this demo was originally meant for E3, but E3 didn't happen, so obviously the demo was not used for it. Now, I get it, okay? I understand they're trying to say this is an early build, but my issue is this is not that early of a build. This is several weeks old. The game is to come out sometime in November, more than likely. Are you really going to have a product that is far superior to what we saw by launch time? And I just feel like that might not be the case. A lot of people like to use Halo 2 as an example, but we have to remember this is a totally different studio. This is not Bungie we're talking about. Bungie are veterans in this. You know what I mean? Like, these people are vets. Like, they know what they're doing when it comes to game development, and they've been around for long enough to be able to handle a turnaround like this. Whereas 343 does not have the track record to prove that they can handle this. And Halo 4 and 5 are somewhat examples of this, right? We didn't get the best Halo games when they were working on it. And I understand some are going to say, you know, the people that worked at Bungie switched over to 343 who wanted to still work on Halo, but I think the core people did not transfer over. I feel like the core people ended up going with Bungie working on Destiny. So I just don't have that faith in the project that everyone else might. So this is where I get a little bit concerned about the end product. Now, obviously, I am a fan of Halo. I do enjoy Halo 1 through 3. 4 and 5 were okay. 5, not so much on the campaign side of things. So I'm interested to see how they round out the story of Halo Infinite. But that aside, I think that their response is them saying, you know what? Clearly there are issues here. They are sticking with the aesthetic. Okay, whatever. You want to do that? That's cool. If your fans like that, that's fine. Again, not for me personally, but if their major core fan base likes that aesthetic, all right, I get it. Just not for me. And I'm curious to see how this turns out. I genuinely don't believe this is going to be a product that's going to look really good by launch day. I just don't. Based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard with the troubles at 343, I think the final product will not look much better than what we saw at their showcase. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that it's incredible. I hope that I'm wrong about everything I'm saying, and that would make me happy. I would be happy to be wrong about that because Halo's a flagship franchise and it deserves to be treated like one. I don't think it should come out like a buggy mess like that. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. I really hope that 343 is able to fix this. If they're not, they could ruin Halo forever, and that would be very disappointing. But I'm going to pass this on to you all, and I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think these major third-party exclusives are? We've heard it from 2 sources now, and could this mean that we are in for a huge treat? What do you make of this PS5 Future of Gaming playlist being updated? Could this hint towards something being uploaded to the PlayStation channel regarding a state of play? And lastly, do you think that Halo Infinite will make a turnaround by launch day? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, hit that like button, follow me on Twitter, link will be in the description, share this video with a friend, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Take care.